Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Attack of the Fanboy Podcast. This is our 19th episode. My name is Kyle, and with me tonight are Will and Anthony. So we're actually starting off kind of on a sad note. We're a few days away from it, so it's a little bit better. But Nintendo president and CEO Satoru Iwata passed away on, I believe, Sunday the 11th, Saturday the 11th. He had a bile duct tumor, essentially a bile duct growth that had been plaguing him for a while. It was pretty rough news. I know it really bothered me. Everybody kind of knows that I'm a big Nintendo fan. I've definitely been a big Satoru Iwata fan since he took over. It was definitely rough. Anthony, I know you were pretty impacted. Do you have any thoughts on that news?
Well, it was just really just surprised to everybody. So, I mean, everybody was just taken aback by it and kind of just coped with it in their own way, I guess, by just remembering. I mean, we all took part and wrote something up, how we remembered.
It was definitely a surprise, which, I mean, he'd had some health issues. We all knew that he had this issue for a while. It prevented him from going to E3 in 2014, but he had some surgery, and they said that he was doing better, that he kind of came through that pretty well. Obviously, looking back, that may have been just kind of saving face. We don't really know. We don't know the full details, but just kind of to go over some of his history, he was the fourth president of Nintendo. He was actually the first one that wasn't a part of the Yamauchi family, which is the founders of Nintendo, and that was a huge accomplishment. Did you guys follow that when that was going on back in, I think that was 2002?
No, that was way before my time.
Gotcha.
No, I did not.
No.
2002.
I was
I'm trying to think. I didn't know. Like, what was it? GameCube, or was it still 64 at that point? Probably right.
No.
Yeah, it was GameCube. Yeah, no, I didn't follow that.
That was back when I was reading books about the history of Nintendo. So I was definitely following that. It was big news when Yamauchi was leaving, just because it's a big thing in Japan that companies are passed down through the family, and he didn't really have a big heir to take over. I believe he had a son-in-law that was working at Nintendo, but it didn't seem like he would be the president, and so it ended up falling to Iwata, and it was pretty surprising. But I mean, I would say he knocked it out of the park. I think most people, looking back and seeing where Nintendo was when Iwata took over, would say that he really reshaped the company. Not that they were going to go under or anything. Nintendo just has that way of never really completely falling, but taking that company and putting out the DS, putting out the Wii, and really just changing Nintendo and changing gaming.
And now we find out that, through the GameCube's era, he went out to these third-party companies, which more or less created the backing behind the Wii.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
he's pretty crazy.
The biggest thing looking back now is just learning more about his non-president duties. Essentially, he was a programming genius, is what people seem to be saying. Like Pokemon Gold and Silver, he came in and kind of compressed the code for them. They were having trouble getting it down to the size that they needed. He compressed it, and all of a sudden they had so much extra space that they could put the Kanto region in. Like, just weird, these crazy stories that have been passed around, but now are really coming to the forefront of everyone's knowledge of this guy.
And that before he was president, one that was, I think, the N64, he basically is the guy who created that battle system and put it on the Pokemon Stadium.
Yeah, the guy who created the battle system was astonished that it took him a week. He just kind of grabbed the game and he's like, "Oh, I got to put this on N64? All right, give me a little bit."
Let me show you how to do this.
Yeah. um, and the big thing for me is just I'm gonna miss the Nintendo Directs that he was in. Those were really innovative. The way that they kind of went straight to the fans and just put together these honestly pretty entertaining videos. And you could kind of tell that he was a very genuine person. So definitely gonna miss those. And one thing wanted to talk to Will because you were actually at E3 when he was there, because my first E3 was 2014 and he did not go, and that crushed me because I was so hoping that I might be able to see him there either at like a Nintendo press conference, which at the time no one knew if they were going to do those. Did you actually see him at E3 at like a press conference or anything?
I'm trying to remember. Reggie's usually the guy that's leading those things.
Yeah.
From what I can recall, when they revealed the Wii U, I remember it being mostly Reggie.
Yeah.
So, no, I don't remember.
Okay.
Iwata in that capacity.
Yeah. You weren't
certainly
like me,
never see him.
Obsessively waiting to see if he was going to take the stage. So who knows? But that's extremely unfortunate. What happened there?
Well, you did meet Miyamoto, at least.
I did. I didn't.
So you got that.
I was just nearby Miyamoto.
You caught a whiff of Miyamoto.
I did. Yes.
Who, incidentally, is basically more or less co-oping the takeover.
Well, it's
of the duties. Yeah.
It is a temporary thing with Miyamoto taking over, along with who's the other guy? I'm trying to pull that up actually.
Somebody we don't even know.
No, he's a decent guy at the top of Nintendo. I just, for some reason, I'm blanking on his name. Genyo Takeda is running alongside Miyamoto, and people are. It's getting to be the time where people are kind of talking about what's the future like for Nintendo. I don't think Miyamoto is the right way to go for the president. I think he's better hands-on. We want him directly involved in games. Every game that he can touch, we want that happening.
Iwata was the president. He still ended up being hands-on.
He did, but it still takes some time away from you. You gotta, you've got to be more involved in that business side. And I'm sure Miyamoto could handle it. That's no question at all.
That's another thing about Iwata. I mean, the stories were that he would do his presidential business during the day, and at night you go home and be basically a developer, a programmer.
Yeah, that makes sense. So
Crazy.
We will see. Everyone has said that they're dedicated to the vision that Iwata had. They have the NX debuting probably next year. And we'll find out what that was. October this year for launching next year.
Either way, it's a sad thing that he won't be the one presenting it.
That will be, that's going to be pretty rough to see people showing off what I'm sure he had a lot to do with, and I guess we'll see how that turns out. But any other thoughts on Iwata? I've kind of monopolized because I am the Nintendo guy.
It's shocking that he was so young. 55 is pretty damn young. But for me, it's just you just don't see that in publicly traded companies and big corporations where the CEO is beloved and the industry of the consumers love that person so much that they have the writing about him, his accomplishments, just the outpour of support that the internet gives to Nintendo and Iwata's family in particular. And it's just crazy. You just don't see that for other companies in other industries. You don't see that. You don't see the CEO of General Electric or some company like that. If their CEO dies, some people are sad, but it doesn't seem as widespread and seem as vocal as it does for somebody like Iwata, which goes to show the impact he had on a lot of people. Whether that was just from the Nintendo Direct stuff, the goofy stuff, or for people who have the sentiment of like, I played this dude's game when I was a child.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I just pulled up the NeoGAF thread announcing that he passed away. There are 230 pages of people just talking about, how upset they are and posting pictures. Reddit was full of just everything. It is pretty astonishing to see the reaction. I think he was pretty universally appreciated in the gaming community. Everyone's been racing. They've downloaded his Mii onto their 3DSs and Wii U's, and everyone's playing Mario Kart and stuff using his character. So,
people want an Iwata amiibo, Kyle.
They do. I don't know about that. That
seems a little bit
a little far. It's a little much. But I appreciate the sentiment. So,
well, you gotta understand.
Please understand.
Please understand. I didn't want to go full.
That was an Iwata catchphrase, was "please understand." Whenever he was announcing like a delay or anything, he would say, "Please understand."
And it became a running joke that he accepted, and he actually kind of just did it to make people laugh.
Yeah. No, they did a good job of capitalizing on those things with the bananas, and the Muppets at E3 were pretty great. So.
And that's kind of the thing. I mean, why there were Muppets now.
I was thinking that,
so sick that they couldn't have them in person.
That's extremely depressing.
It is, but it's the fact.
Yep. So we will see what the future holds for Nintendo, but it was a very unfortunate circumstance. So we'll move on. Move on to other gaming news. And
is there any happy news? Can we go into some happy news?
I don't know.
There isn't any happy news.
Happy news.
Is there like a Minions game or something?
I guess people can be happy that the Shenmue 3 Kickstarter is almost done.
Why would they be happy? It didn't reach the goal.
Yeah, with $5 million, you're going to get half a game.
Yeah.
Woo! Everyone's been seizing on that $10 million number. I don't.
Have you read the fucking stretch goals on this thing, Kyle?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Like $6 million, you'll get a user interface.
$6 million is like battle system expanded.
Oh, battle system expanded. Whatever.
Yeah.
Well, don't you think like a game, like full game, should have an expanded battle system? You're just gonna. I mean, don't get me wrong. I played Shenmue back in the day. I liked it. It was pretty revolutionary for the time. But did you see the video? I mean, come on, man. Did you see the video they put out? It looks shitty. It doesn't look good.
I don't know. Just to me, there's been a lot of cynicism towards this Kickstarter, and I don't really understand.
Tons of it.
People have begged for 10 years. Please make a Shenmue 3.
People are more.
And now they're being all picky.
Yeah, but people are more. They've been burned on Kickstarter, right? Like.
Yes.
At this point, people have been burned, and just because it's Shenmue 3 doesn't. I don't think that makes people go, oh, well, we'll just give this one a pass. Oh, user interface for $6 million? Okay, fuck it.
It's not. It's not the user interface.
I know, but it's. I'm gonna just keep using that because it sounds good, and it reiterates my point. It is key things to a game. Well, by whatever means I need to do it, Kyle. I'm going to make my point.
I'm in these stretch goals. I don't see anything in there that is necessary for this game. There's mini games. There's expanded areas.
Mini games is a stretch goal. Period.
Extra mini game.
Oh.
Yeah, extra mini games.
Doesn't matter. Like it. That stuff just sounds bad, you know. And which goes back to like why people are skeptical of this Kickstarter, and it's because other people have done that shit, and other people have just not turned out a good product or not turned out a product at all, and people, professional developers, are just better at having a plan put in place, something that makes sense, something that's going to keep the community, that is kickstarting that game, following it, rooting for it, promoting it, and not saying, this sounds like shit. I'm a little bit skeptical of this.
Help me out here, guys. I'm a Shenmue virgin here. What kind of game is this? Is this an open world type game? I know
Quick time the game.
I mean, it's like an open world environment, isn't it? It's been a long time since I played Shenmue.
It wasn't like today's open world, but for then it was very
open world.
Very open world. It's not not even close. This game came out 15 years ago.
Well, Yakuza open world is like a small city where you just run around. There's no cars. You just run around.
Yeah, but it's not. You're thinking on a much larger scale than was possible then.
Okay, but you basically just run around a city or village.
It was open world, but not like you think of open world today.
Okay.
Assassin's Creed, that kind of shit. Not even close.
Even then, we're expecting a good open world for like a PS4, and yet they're stretch goaling stuff like larger environments. What the fuck? Is there gonna be like single rooms and shit? That's pretty crappy, Kyle. Come on.
But
look at that shit.
You just learned that it's open world. Now you're like, now it's not open world enough.
Not open world.
This tiny open world.
I'll buy my Mad Max and Just Cause 3. Screw that shit.
Because you can't make an open world game off $5 million. Now, again, Sony is funding this partially, but we don't know how much they're chipping in.
20 million.
They better make up that $4 million so we get the user interface. That's what I'm telling you right now.
There's no HUD.
Because if there's no HUD, it's going to be real hard to play. But it's like what? People just want to pop it in and see the Shenmue title and go, fuck it, my life's complete.
My life's done. I'm good.
It cost $70 million to make the first Shenmue game.
Really?
Holy shit!
No fucking way. 15 years ago?
It's the most expensive game ever developed at the time.
Well,
Jesus.
Will's our math guy. Adjust that shit for inflation.
A lot of shit has gone on between now and
between then and now. It is still the 13th most expensive game ever made.
Adjusted for inflation? Holy shit.
Adjusted for inflation, it would be $99 million. This Kickstarter did not make $70 million.
Sony can pony up 65, but
you're gonna get two sticks fighting each other. That's what you're gonna get.
I'm just saying.
He's gonna have to cut some corners. He's gonna have to tighten up the ship. He's probably, wild with his money.
Delay-a-thon, Shenmue 3.
That's when Sega had all that cash, all that Dreamcast money.
They just said, "Look, you guys want to continue the story? Here you go. We'll continue the story." And now people are asking for like a lot more than that. That's how I see it.
Well, you got to be upfront though. There's got to be transparency, right? Like if it's going to be a 3-hour fucking game that just ties up Shenmue forever, you got to be upfront about that. Because if you're putting Shenmue 3 as the title and you're expecting something on the scope, something that equates with what that game was back then. Now, right? Would you not? Would you expect something less from a numbered sequel? You would expect something better, at least. You would expect them to. Yeah, you would expect though. I mean, the industry standard is. Of course you would. You've been trained to expect that. Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo 4, they all get better with time because technology changes.
Yeah,
and you would expect the same. I can't do it.
I would expect it if the series was successful enough to warrant a sequel.
It's not your job. It's not your job as a consumer to know how successful something is and then give them a break for it. It's not. Point blank. Like,
but
just because you know, most people don't.
We're asking them. We've been asking them for 10 years. That's why they did this, is because everyone has said, please, 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 we want a sequel. And they're like, well,
I know, but I know, but the people that do Kickstarter are just the ground floor people that get it off the ground, right? And their overall goal isn't to just, oh, we're just going to get this game out to the people who gave us money already. They're going to try and sell this game. I mean, it's a business, right? They're going to try and make money. They're going to market it. They're going to say, you need to own Shenmue 3.
But that brings me back to who do you know that would buy Shenmue 3 that didn't already hear about this Kickstarter?
Well, I mean, who do I know? Who do I know?
Yeah. No one.
I think it depends. I mean, you underestimate marketing, right?
They can't.
Shitload of people bought Homefront. That game sucked.
They can't market a Shenmue game. They've been disasters every single time.
But you can, because it's been quite a while.
Marketing has changed over the years, man.
Yeah, you market it as piece of nostalgia. You market it as, you weren't around for this. Experience it now. You remaster since it's Sony. You remaster 1 and 2. You make them pretty cheap. Get people involved.
Sony.
And you release 1 and 2 a month before 3 comes out, and then boom, boom, boom.
See,
hopefully you've gotten some new money in the pool.
Just don't do it like Prototype, like the day of. Then you're good. Then you're good.
Even if they do that, the first 2 haven't aged extremely well. From everything that I've heard from people who went back and tried them, they have not aged
Just watch a fucking video. I mean, go back and play any PlayStation 2 game right now, and you're going to be like, eh.
Yeah, but my point is they're not going to play those games. And therefore, how do you market in a story-driven game? How do you market the third one when almost no one played the first 2?
I just told you. You have to remaster 1 and 2.
But no one's gonna play them because they didn't age well. People are gonna start.
That's where you got to sell the nostalgia first with 1 and 2. Market it. You got a PlayStation 4. This is what you've been waiting for. Shenmue 3. But get 1 and 2 first, so you're up on the story.
He makes a good point. I mean, I don't see Shenmue 3 coming out for at least another 3 years.
It's December 2017.
Yeah. So they have plenty of time to remaster the first 2, even if they outsource it to one of the many Sony companies that they have to just remaster crap. Sony Santa Monica, whoever, whatever. Japan. Just do that.
Okay.
And
they do that.
Well, it builds on nostalgia. It builds on the shelf. It gauges the interest to 3.
And the interest will be nothing.
How do you know?
The interest will be nothing. The people who
there's certainly interest in this.
Yes, the people who will buy that remaster are the same people who already backed the 59,000, the almost 60,000. It's ticking.
You put it on. You remaster it. You put it on PlayStation Plus. You get it out there to all the people.
And
then you hit them with Shenmue 3. I'm dropping my mic because this conversation is over.
Shenmue 3 pre-orders go up same day.
They're not gonna play 1 and 2 again. They didn't age well. They barely had an audience back then.
Remaster.
As much as I appreciate them.
Full remakes of Shenmue.
Full remakes.
Full new gen remakes.
We're gonna have an open world the size of GTA 5 now.
Final Fantasy VII remake type. That's what we're doing.
Yeah, you never know. Well, yeah, I'm not trying to take your point away from you, Kyle. You have a very good point that it's a story-driven game that is going to be hard to sell. Absolutely. Then why the fuck do it in the first place? Because you want to do it for those people. I hear you, but
and they funded it. They have enough to make a game, but it's going to be probably
a
bare bones Shenmue experience.
Then everybody should just shut the fuck up and not play Shenmue 3, right? Okay, so.
Because, didn't we put up an article today that's like, it's not even going to be in retail, and the only way you're getting a retail is if you throw your money at Kickstarter?
That, I think, is is bullshit. I don't.
No, I think
remember
that's the thing. I was looking on the Kickstarter page. It said something to that effect. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I read it
okay.
somewhere.
I guess you're okay with downloadable Shenmue. Since you said you didn't put in towards the Kickstarter, Kyle.
See, it even says here, physical copy of Shenmue 3 in an exclusive backer-only case. If it was going to be an exclusive physical copy, they would say it.
This is true. I don't really care. I'm probably not going to play Shenmue 3.
I don't know.
He couldn't play anyways. It has no HUD.
Yeah, no one can.
Yeah, I don't feel like putting my money out on something that may or may not have a user interface.
I don't know. I do want them to remaster them because I want to play them again, and I don't want to. I have my Dreamcast right now boxed up for various reasons, and I don't want to have to hook it up again. So I would like to play through 1 and 2 again.
Oh, you're a collector like that? You've got all the old consoles?
Oh, I have all the old consoles.
You had to even ask.
I've owned just about every one. I just don't have them anymore.
I keep my. I even have an old CRT. I make sure that they're all hooked up to that. But I had to take my classic systems down for a little bit. But
cool.
Yep. So
But this thing's still got like a 24 hours to go.
24
We're
hours.
not going to get to 10 million.
4 million and 24.
But they've closed in like 400,000 in the last day. So.
Yeah, I've sat here and watched it go up at least 50,000. But I mean, the 10 million is just for like an expanded open world or something like that.
A complete game.
He's no, Jesus. This is the kind of cynicism I'm talking about. Jeez. People beg for this game. They finally like, all right.
Well, he's not the one that begged for it. He didn't beg for it. He's never played it.
Yeah, but I would be willing to enjoy the experience if it was complete.
He's not going to play it. You're not going to play it, Anthony. You're never going to play it.
Want to bet?
Now you'll just play it to spite me. But
damn right.
You wouldn't go into a store and pick up Shenmue 3 without playing 1 and 2, and you're not going to go back and play 1 and 2. That's just not going to happen. The people that want this game are the people that back this project.
Do you want to bet that they're going to have a recap at the beginning?
Of course.
I'll bet you.
There's something about...
Just like Yakuza, there's like videos that's like, you can recap 1, 2, 3 before you play 4 or whatever.
One of the very early was Shenmue 1 and 2 cinema shorts.
There you go.
What that is referring to. But either way, I don't know. Shenmue is a very niche game.
Thank you.
Very niche game.
Thank you for who run the Kickstarter for saving me time in playing the first 2 games.
There are many niche games that are incredible, marketed incredibly well and become big major franchises. The Witcher is a prime example of that. The Witcher was a niche game. The Witcher 2 hit a little bit more mainstream, but was still a pretty niche RPG. The Witcher 3 is a mainstream success. You know? These have come out in more close proximity to one another, and there's a story. But it's not the exception because it's kind of the same thing, right? Maybe it's even more niche because it's Japanese culture, but The Witcher has a storyline, right? And there's a lot about The Witcher 3 that if you didn't play The Witcher 2, you don't know who some of these people are. And, they did pretty well at making that game stand out on its own for people that didn't play those games.
Yeah, I didn't go back and play 2 until after the fact that I've already played some of 3. So
I guess we'll just have to wait and find out in December of 2017. But Shenmue 2 had extremely good reviews. It had a game rankings average of 89 on Dreamcast and 82 on Xbox. It did not matter. It did not matter at all. I remember I think that was an extended play review on G4 that I watched.
Well, you just aged yourself.
I'm becoming an old man. very rapidly.
Not as quickly as I am.
But
Yeah.
watch this segue. Speaking of remasters on PlayStation, did you hear they're not planning any backwards compatibility on PS4?
I did. Yeah.
I did as well, because it was on our website.
Yep.
Tagoffanboy.com.
Yeah, Shuhei Ishida basically said that they're not interested in doing backwards compatibility, and that there is backwards compatibility of sort. You can get PlayStation Now, which is okay, right? It seems reasonable. But what I was talking to you about earlier was the fact that like there's a double standard. If Microsoft was to say that, which they did, Don Matrick came out and said, "Yeah, there's a way to backwards compatibility on Xbox One. Use your Xbox 360." You remember when he said that?
And he got shit on for it.
He got completely shit on for saying that. That is saying, hey, use this thing that you already own to play the games that you already own. It's, thinking about it in retrospect, doesn't sound that bad. It doesn't sound as bad as saying, yeah, we have a subscription service that you can use to play the games you already own. But it doesn't catch the same kind of... Sony has marketed themselves so fucking well in this console generation that they can literally not do a thing wrong. It doesn't matter what they say, what they do. They could raise the price of the PlayStation 4 to $600 right now. This was the time to be like, you'll work a second job for a PlayStation 4. This was the time when they needed to, gouge people when they've got, because they're unflappable right now. They can't do anything wrong, which also leads us into the MPD, which they won again this month. I don't have much to say about backwards compatibility on PlayStation 4. Would it be awesome? Yeah, I'd like to play some of the digital games and PlayStation Plus games that I have, in my library. But, what are you going to do? They're not going to do it. They said that there's some serious roadblocks in hurdles in doing that. And, he also talked about he's interested in watching how Microsoft handles this because it's a case-by-case basis for each game. And Microsoft's already come out and said that there is work that has to be done on each game that comes out for backwards compatibility on Xbox One. So, we'll see. It seems like it's working. Though I play Geometry Wars now like every single time I fire up my Xbox One. I just go in and play around Geometry Wars because it works flawlessly.
Does it? I haven't tried. I probably need to.
Yeah, I don't even have the preview program. What am I talking about? Fuck.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It wasn't surprising to hear him say that they don't have plans for backwards compatibility because essentially they can not have plans and they can charge money for PlayStation Now, and people just kind of are letting it happen. It's
I don't think
interesting to see.
You think PlayStation Now is a huge success?
No,
I have never even considered it. If they put Metal Gear Solid 4 on there, I might subscribe. I might rent that.
Yeah, there's a trial version going around now, I think. Like 3 weeks or something. I don't know.
There's just nothing I want to play on there, and all the games that I would want to play, they're making remasters of, so it's like, well...
Yeah, they're sticking to their guns. Like, hey, you guys want to play God of War 3?
They're not sticking to anything. They're just doing whatever the fuck they want.
Well, they're sticking to their PlayStation Now guns.
Yeah,
if you wanna play God of War 3, we just released it again in better HD. Go buy that.
Yeah, go buy that.
Go buy that. It's only $39. Have fun. Which I did, by the way. I succumbed. I bought it. Shut up.
Could buy worse games.
Yeah. I don't know. I think maybe they do have a point that it may be harder for them because the PS3 was so different architecturally.
Not my problem.
But yeah, there you go.
It's not my problem that it's difficult for you.
Yeah. But one thing that fans did not let Sony get away with, did you guys follow the Better PSN story that was going around.
I heard about the hashtag. That's about it.
Yeah, people were pretty upset because there were a couple of PSN outages, and so kind of a movement was started on. I think it started on NeoGAF, and then it spread everywhere. It was on Twitter, it was on Reddit, and they were essentially just throwing that hashtag #BetterPSN.
It's got its own website.
It does, yeah, tracking the most requested issues, which last time I checked
Sony has not responded to that.
Yeah. Last time I checked, they were the top issue. Here we go. Online, offline, invisibility status change.
That would be awesome.
Changing. That would be fantastic. I do that all the time, wherever I can. Username changing. Account
Trophy
game
syncing
library.
automatically would be great.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that people are asking for, and I think the biggest takeaway was, PSN used to be a free service. PlayStation Plus was just for kind of extras, and now you have to have PlayStation Plus to get on PSN and really do multiplayer and anything else that's useful on PSN. So now people are sort of demanding these features that they expect from a paid service.
Exhibit B of Sony is doing whatever the fuck they want.
But they at least got called out here.
Called out is one thing. Doing something about it is another. Like, for them to get... you have to agree that PlayStation Plus, taking the games, the free games out of the equation. The PSN network and Xbox Live. Xbox Live is a much, much better service.
Yep, without a doubt.
And Sony has a lot of catching up to do. And when they said that they were going to be charging for it, I think it was just kind of assumed that it would get better. A lot of stuff hasn't gotten better. Download speeds are certainly not better. Stuff that takes me an hour to download on the Xbox could take me 5 or 6 hours on the PlayStation. It's ridiculous.
I don't think I've downloaded a full game, like a full retail release on my PS4, at least without queuing it up beforehand. So I haven't run into that, but
I've never had a problem with either, actually. I've had connection issues with Xbox more, coincidentally, but that's just me. No favoritism or anything. My Xbox, my PS4.
This dude's lying through his teeth. Lying.
My
just
PS4
bald
and
face
Xbox
lying.
One are in the same room. When I turn on my Xbox and it's like, cannot connect to internet, and I turn my fucking PS4 on, it's like, hey, how you doing? I'm like, all right, fuck you, Xbox. I guess I'm watching Netflix on PS4 today.
That sounds like a problem with your internet.
Yeah.
But no, I mean,
send a technician out.
A problem of incompetence that you shouldn't transfer over to Microsoft's product.
I think it's Xbox Live just sucks.
You would be in the minority.
Well, probably.
For sure. I think it's pretty much just, that's why they have the hashtag.
But as far as
PSN.
Download speeds, both are the exact same for me. A full game takes an hour probably for each platform to download for me.
Okay.
I never had any issues.
Yeah, you must be one of the lucky ones because that's
Yeah.
pretty common complaint for PlayStation Network.
The trick is not to sign out, people. God.
You get better download speeds if you don't sign out.
You never
They must just have one data center serving you.
Pretty much. I mean, they know.
They know we gotta keep this guy happy.
You were pretty close to the PlayStation experience. Maybe they have some stuff out there.
Probably.
Just hosting stuff for Anthony in the Las Vegas region.
Reno, sir.
I know. I'm saying the region.
That's an 8-hour away region.
That still counts.
I guess.
But I don't know. Yeah, it's been a... PSN is definitely not the best out there. They did seem to improve the update situation from the PS3, but not completely.
Yeah, they stopped doing them. They just stopped updating the console.
Is that what it is?
Fuck yeah!
Apparently
the PS3, no. Okay, so here's what happened with the PlayStation 3. I think in around 2010 or whatever it was. I mean, I'm sure you guys were following along. Remember when the PlayStation Network went down because hackers had gotten into the developer network?
Yep.
After that, Sony was releasing updates constantly, so people couldn't have a jailbroken PlayStation 3 and get online. So they kept updating the system, making the games have updates or be compatible with system updates to keep. Yeah, they were fighting that jailbreak war. That's why. I mean,
Gotcha.
in my opinion, I don't know if that's 100% proof or truth, but in my opinion, that's why we saw so many updates on the PlayStation 3. Because of the jailbreak situation, because it was a pretty serious problem for them, and Sony doesn't, that was Sony's way of combating piracy with updates. And they updated that system a lot. Every single time you wanted to turn it on, you needed an update. That's kind of how it is on the Xbox now with the preview program. But on the PlayStation 4, I mean, you're seeing an update occasionally. If someone was to jailbreak the PlayStation 4, I think you'd probably see updates more frequently. But as it is now, that was one of the things that people were pissed about. Cool, let's just stop updating the console. I mean, I can't say they don't ever update it, but they're certainly not updating it at the pace of their competitors.
At least I don't have to go through the update process every time. That's fine by me.
Well, and another thing that might give you the illusion that stuff is not as prevalent is it's downloading in the background.
Yeah.
Right. So you're in rest mode or whatever, it downloads it, you install it when you sign in or whatever, and that takes a lot of that away as well. That was a PlayStation Plus feature on the PlayStation 3, was automatically downloading the updates. And once I got that, it actually wasn't that bad, But I just think they did a lot more updates. And I don't think it's as big of a problem because we're not seeing them. But definitely better PSN hashtag. Hopefully they respond, and hopefully they start to address some of the issues. It's a long list. I mean, everybody's got something that they want, right? But figure out the common stuff that a lot of people are asking for and try and hit that. Things that you see on every other online network. Add those in. Yeah. You can make a lot of people happy.
I think the number one thing that people want that isn't necessarily on the list is for it to just stay online. Just don't go down.
Indeed.
Which it didn't this week, so we're looking pretty good. But
give them a round of applause.
We'll see if they can make it to the end of the month. All right, so that was about it for the news. Let's talk about what we actually played this week, which for me was not much. I played some GTA.
You have a growing habit, it appears.
It's a full-blown habit.
So you're like
fully into my GTA.
Totally excited about this weekend's events, right?
This weekend isn't as good. The July 4th weekend was double RP for pretty much everything, and double money for almost everything. This one's a lot more limited, so not as excited. I don't want to play that prison heist over and over again.
What is it that has really got you engaged with this? Because you didn't play it the first time around, or is it more like?
Yeah, I didn't play a lot of GTA Online the first time. I just kind of made a character and went through some of the tutorials, and then I just stopped, intentionally waiting for the PC version. I don't know. I got a good group. That's always helpful when you have a group of dedicated players. We all get the new cars, and we trick them out and do all the missions. I don't know what it is. It's just, it's GTA.
Are you guys just like the nice guys, or do you try and screw people?
No.
People up?
So I saw some meme in GTA Online. you either die by the assholes or live long enough to become an asshole. And that's kind of what's happened to all of us. Like, we tried to be the nice guys, and we will be every once in a while. We definitely don't just go around screwing over everybody. But we don't not screw over everybody.
You do what you have to do, right?
Yeah, there was one the last time I played where a guy started killing people just randomly. So we hunted him for a solid 30 minutes. We called in choppers. We would just, wherever he was, we'd track him down and take him out. So, we do stupid stuff like that every once in a while. But overall, we just kind of play through the missions and level up our characters. I unlocked the tank the other day, so I've been able to drive that down the streets, blowing.
I mean, how does that work in GTA Online? Can you blow up other players with that thing?
Yeah, people can go into passive mode if they don't want. If you're bugging them too much, and
that sounds legit.
Yeah, you just can't kill them.
That sounds stupid.
What?
Why do you got to go into passive mode? Because some asshole brings a tank to the party. It's shitty.
Well, you don't have to go into passive mode. You can try and blow them up.
With what? A rocket launcher?
Rocket launcher. The tanks aren't indestructible. Both times that I've used it so far, it has been blown up. Not even by other players. It was blown up just by NPCs hitting it with bullets for a solid 10 minutes.
Rocket launchers, C4.
But I mean, yeah, and that's just in the free roam open world area, which isn't really the game. That's like where you go to dick around and do whatever for like 20 minutes while you get everybody onto the game and ready to play some missions. Like, missions are separated from the open world, and that's where you would have a more serious experience.
I assume everybody knows how Grand Theft Auto Online works by now.
I guess not. But that was pretty much all that I played. Will, you played something. What'd you play?
I did play something. God of War 3. Have you heard of it?
I have. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I reviewed that on the site.
How was it?
It's God of War 3. It's good. It's a remaster. I mean, it's a remaster, a very thin remaster as far as content goes. All you basically get is God of War 3 plus a photo mode and some DLC costumes and stuff.
Sold.
It's fun. I mean, have you played God of War 3?
I played very little of 3. I played a lot of God of War 1 and 2. Was 3 considered like the best one?
I think a lot of people like 2 as well. But God of War 3 was like crazy as far as scaling the scale of the game, the scope of like some of the boss battles. It's just one of those highly cinematic experiences that's probably one of the benchmarks for last gen. And for that, I think a lot of people like that, and it's the conclusion of the trilogy. That storyline. I mean, at the time, I don't think you could find many people that would have said anything bad about that game. It's rated pretty highly on Metacritic, 90-something. But yeah, I don't remember that game looking terribly bad, and I know I told you guys this. I think I said it on one of the things we did for E3. Was I don't remember God of War 3 being a bad-looking game, and I could not look at that game and say, "Oh yeah, this is a huge improvement," because at the time, 5 years ago, I think it's right. That was a very impressive, technically advanced game. I don't remember seeing anything that looked as good as that for a few more years down the line on the PlayStation 3, and that was probably Uncharted 3. Or that was maybe 2 years later. I don't remember. Regardless, for the time, God of War 3 was a really, really good-looking game, and bringing it up to 60 frames per second and 1080p native doesn't have the same impact that it does on other games, I guess. Just because artistically it already looked really, really good. I don't remember having a problem with frame rates or stuff like that back on the PS3. It's just one of those things where it's like, if you're a huge God of War fan and you want to bring that game with you to the PlayStation 4, why not? It's $39. But if you're a little bit more frugal and you're more like want to get your value out of it, this is not a game that is very much different than it originally released. In fact, it's not different at all. You know, and if you've already played it before, it loses some of the punch. But as I said in the review, Sony is in a very interesting situation with the PlayStation 4 in that some people didn't own PlayStation 3. Maybe not in 2010 either. God of War 3 is one of those games you want to come back and look at.
So you're kind of saying, if I can summarize your thoughts, if you didn't play God of War 3, get it. If you did, probably don't get it.
I mean, I can't say that either. I can't say that. I had fun playing through it again. It just doesn't hit as hard. And there are better, like, hack and slash games out there. Bayonetta is one of them.
Yeah, go get a Wii U.
DMC is one of them.
Grab Bayonetta 2.
But God of War is a very good-looking game. It's a very fun game. Some of those moments in that game are okay to see again. I think $39.99. What?
Ripping a guy's head off is what I was saying. That was awesome.
Yeah, there's stuff like that in God of War 3. There's a lot of it. So going back through and playing that again, I did have a good time with it. So to summarize my thoughts, no, you can't say a flat out no. It's just going to be a decision. It's going to be a judgment call for you. Did you really like God of War 3 the first time around when you played it? If so, and you want to play it on the PlayStation 4, yeah.
They're not putting backwards compatibility on there. So
yeah, there you go. This is your only avenue of doing that. In 1080p 60.
I just wish that they had thrown 1 and 2 in. I mean, they've remastered.
Yeah, that would have been nice, but that would have been a lot more work, Kyle, and they did very little on this game.
That's. I don't know that it would have been a lot, just because they've remastered them before. Did they remaster them? Or yeah. They pumped them out.
Yeah, but they're not going to be, I remember people not being extremely pleased with those remasters.
Yeah. Would have been nice. I definitely would have picked it up if it was 1 through 3. With it just being 3, I'll probably wait for a sale of some kind.
Oh, that'll be a PlayStation Plus game in a month or two.
Think so?
Absolutely.
Well,
I
bought it. Thanks. Thanks a lot. I could have used this heavy intellect, this heavy fortune telling a day ago when I bought it.
I mean, it might not be in a couple months. It might be in a year. But it's in Sony's catalog now when they're like, well, we got to release something. God of War 3 Remastered. It's not going to be there in 2 months. There's no fucking way it'll be there in 2 months. I mean, that was just
no.
hyperbole.
I'm saying it's going to be there when they announce the next God of War.
Yeah, there you go. There's a prime spot for it to be.
So you gave it a 4 out of 5. You loved it. I did. I like your pro-con. Your pro is it's effing God of War 3.
It is, and that's all it is, though. I mean, it's effing God of War 3, and God of War 3 is a really, really good game with tons of awesome shit in it. If you like that awesome shit and you want to see it in 1080p 60 frames per second, you should buy it.
All right.
Period.
Yeah, remasters are tough to review, honestly. Not to get into the weeds too much of what we do, but with remasters, it's like
they most certainly are
the game that you played. Probably. Do you want more of that game?
But in this case, it's different because this one, you get so many games like. I mean, we've seen how many? 100 now? 100 remasters to come out on these consoles? Probably, right?
It's got to be at least
closing in on 50. All right, maybe 50. Regardless, all of those games have had like copious amounts of downloadable content and stuff from long season passes and extra story content and costumes and just all kinds of crap. God of War doesn't have any of that, So right out of the gate, it's not like, well, I didn't play the DLC the first time around. Maybe I'll play I'll get this so I can play the whole thing. It's just not like that. So you don't have any of those extra benefits. But to further the point of like it's difficult to review remasters, it most certainly is because it's like, well, how do you give a game that's technically better than the first one, a lower score.
Mm.
You know, which is playing God of War 3 the first time, I probably would give it a 10.
Yeah.
Or 5,
That's
whatever.
because your expectations change, you know?
Well, you've already played the game.
Yeah.
You have to take into consideration, like, what does this do? What is this doing? Is it a value proposition? I mean, we don't cover value that much in reviews, but, you know, for these sort of things, you almost have to, because, you know, they're competing. These remasters are competing with each other, and some are better value propositions than others. The case of God of War, it didn't have the value. That's why it's $39.99. You know, or people would really be like, "Fuck this for $60, no way." I'm guessing.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's a good game. It's God of War 3. It's one of the best, in my opinion, one of the best video games of the last probably 15 years. I mean, no one has done the spectacle and scale of scope that God of War 3 has. Nobody. Right. They still haven't. God of War 4 didn't even do it. I mean, they just didn't get it like that. There are some moments in that game where you're fighting on like titans, and you're, like Anthony said, ripping people's heads off. You're slicing open centaurs. Guts are spilling out on the ground. I mean, the shit is gruesome, and it's just, he smashes this dude's face to a bloody pulp, and you see it. It is an incredibly graphic and gruesome, just incredibly awesome game. But, you know, it's 5 years old.
I haven't fired it up, so I must ask, in that scene where he rips the guy's head off and beats him to pulp, is it visually different? Because they made a lot of big deal about, you know, when it first came out, and when you ripped his head off, you could see the skin stretching and ripping and all that. So
I think you may have a problem, Anthony. I'm a little concerned for you right now.
When you play God of War 3, and when he beats, I don't want to spoil it for people that haven't played it, but
it was in the demo though, wasn't it? I don't know. Whatever.
No, I mean the some of these fights are further along into the game.
Oh yeah.
The head ripping off is. I did never once when I was playing it again did I go, oh, this looks really good. Like, better than I remember it. Never once.
So you were just like, that's about right.
Yeah, I was like, I don't remember, because when I remember playing the first game, I was jaw dropped at how good it looked. It was the best looking game I'd ever played on a console.
Did Sony even release one of their split screen things for this game? Usually they do on remasters. If they didn't, that kind of is like a sign. That's like, we're not releasing a split screen on this one. I don't think so, guys.
Split screen.
Yeah, the split screen gameplay they usually release, Sony, of like the PS3 version and the PS4 version. Yeah.
Oh man, I don't know. I think some people did some of their own testing, and I'm pretty sure people were like, this is not like a huge, significant leap. Technically, it's probably a quick and dirty port.
Yeah, I mean, like Kyle said, it's effing God of War 3. It sold me. I told you. I read some of your review. I read your pros, your cons, your verdicts. I'm like, all right, it's God of War 3. That's all I really need.
Yeah, it's a good game. There's, like I said in the review, there's not much more I can say about this game that hasn't been said already. It was praised from top to bottom when it came out. Yep. I don't recall many people, you know, and it was also a different climate in 2010 as well. If that game came out now, there are some things in there that would probably be looked at with some scrutiny. You know, definitely some scrutiny from different parts of the internet. And from, you know, human beings, the people. I mean, the way that Kratos throws women around and the sexualization. It's not a game that's going to ever come out again. I don't think, without getting a ton of backlash. It's just
they're gonna have it.
Yeah.
The next one.
Yeah, but people said that about God of War 4 with the Bros Before Hoes trophy or whatever, but they didn't say anything about God of War 3.
Yeah.
I mean, sure. God of War Ascension.
Yeah. That's the other thing. Why didn't they remaster Ascension? I think with the multiplayer, that would have probably been a better.
Because it wasn't as good.
Yeah, I don't think many people were super excited about Ascension.
It wasn't well received. Now, if they would have thrown them both in there, I could see that. But God of War 3 is the one, right?
Yeah.
I mean you don't take the worst game in the series, Ascension, and like we're gonna remaster this because it's got multiplayer, and the multiplayer wasn't that good.
Oh, so
it was unique.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a big God of War fan. I never actually finished Ascension, so I guess that should say something.
You're a huge fan then.
I'm a huge fan, but I just didn't. I was like, it's not the main game. It's not the main series. It's like, whatever.
I mean, once you finish it off with 3, I think a lot of people were in the same boat that didn't need another game. I mean, leaving off from 3, there shouldn't be a 4.
There should definitely be a 4. He is not, you know what.
We're getting into spoilers, so why don't you talk about what
it's a 5-year-old game. Seriously.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, but like I said in the review, there are a lot of people that haven't played it because they didn't own a PlayStation 3. Those people don't want the game to be spoiled, right? Yep.
I found out the ending of Arkham Knight.
And it's been 5 years. You might be playing through, you might forget what's going on.
Yeah. Well, I was playing a lot of Elder Scrolls Online still to get some of that review done. Review should probably go up, I think, over the weekend, Kyle. Yeah. I'm not sure. I'm guessing so.
All right.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it very much. I mean, I had a tough time because I didn't really play much of the PC version other than the beta, so I kind of just got a rough feeling about it, and what people talk, with the internet and so forth. But as far as an MMO on consoles goes, it's really, really solid. It's probably the most solid you can get. I mean, you got games like Neverwinter that kind of nickel and dime you to get like these Zen or whatever that you can get to get better gear. But Elder Scrolls doesn't do that. You buy the base game, you're pretty much set.
Yeah, I mean they were nickel and diming the PC players back in the day. They toned that down now. So
yeah,
you're getting the better experience today.
I guess so.
This is its second top selling game in June.
It was. Yeah, really? It was the top selling on the PlayStation Store.
I noticed that it's on sale everywhere.
And those numbers don't even account for, the MPD doesn't count for digital.
Yeah.
Really?
Those are just people going to stores and buying the Elder Scrolls Online. It's pretty goddamn amazing considering how much shit that game has caught.
Yeah. And I mean, it's not surprising to me because I see a lot of people on it. I mean, I hop on Xbox. I see some friends on Xbox playing it. I have it on PS4. I see a lot of people I met on the game playing it. And I see a lot of, just general people playing it. I mean, there's a lot of people online on that whole PvP campaign, which is pretty epic battle. I mean,
I feel like it has a lot going for it just in the fact that it is an MMO on a console.
I mean, I'm having a rough time talking about it now. So, I mean, like, if you guys have any questions about MMOs, I mean, general, let me...
Yeah, what is an MMO? What is an MMO?
An MMO, sir, is a massive multiplayer online role-playing game.
Okay. All right, we've established what it is.
I mean,
what's good about it?
Were you playing with ESO Plus, or were you just playing the game?
Playing the base game, just no ESO Plus. ESO Plus, all it does is basically give you like little tiny in-game stuff. Like you get bonus experience and this, that, and the other thing. I'm not really sure. There's more to it. I mean, you get the DLC for free if you're a subscriber, because I know there's a
DLC coming out.
Yeah, the Imperial stuff. Personally, I'm gonna be like, fuck it. I'm just buying the fucking Imperial shit. Fuck it.
So I mean, you played a lot because you were reviewing it. Have you gotten hooked? Or are you going to keep playing it?
I'm probably going to keep playing it more or less. Yeah, definitely. It's fun. I mean, I like the games where you can build your character, and Elder Scrolls fans can attest. It's fun, just basically conceiving your own player the way you want them. Because I mean, you pick this and that, when you create your character. But as far as skill points and everything you put into it, that's all you. You can do whatever you want. You can make
so it's like every other MMO ever,
and every Elder
Scrolls.
I mean,
don't they all say like, here's your character, build him, put your skill tree together, take him out into fight shit.
Yeah,
isn't that every MMO ever?
And I guess.
Yes.
But I mean, it's that Elder Scrolls universe that are really going to.
Right. That is what sets the Elder Scrolls Online aside from other MMOs. They've got this universe. They've got this lore in there that.
Tamriel, the entire world at your fingertips.
I mean, no, seriously, that was why they made it, because they've got all this backstory for these things. They've got these huge fan bases that loved Morrowind and Daggerfall and Skyrim and all these RPGs that they made, and they've got a world that they can build an MMO around. That is the star of the show in the Elder Scrolls. But and then you've got your character stuff. I mean, I know like the different factions. What is it, like Redguard, Khajiit?
Yeah. What's interesting about that is not only does it depend what faction you choose, alliance or whatever, and you could play with your friends, but also depending on your alliance, you get a whole different story, like single player story.
Which is probably kind of like Star Wars. I only played one facet of that.
Yeah, I created another character just for shits and gigs, and it turns out I spawned in a completely different area, completely different.
And because I was reviewing it, and I wanted to just see what this game had to offer.
Of course.
Before I slapped a score on it.
Before I slapped my 4 or 5.
It was a little teaser.
There you go.
Well, it came out last month, so what the fuck?
You gotta take time with it.
You do. It's like a fine, very fine wine. You sip it.
Yeah, the map of Tamriel is large and expansive, but I feel that a lot of the things that you can't visit at this point, a lot of it's going to be DLC.
And that's all premium, or is that free?
The DLC is going to be available for both. I mean, for premium owners, it's going to be free, but the DLC is going to be paid, like most other DLC is. I probably will end up buying the DLC separate, because I don't see paying $15 a month just to get free DLC in the end, which is probably going to end up being $15 anyways,
Or free, depending on how they want to decide how to keep people engaged in that game. They could definitely make it free.
I mean, it's going to be a whole.
But considering how many copies of this thing they sold, they might, that's where they're going to make their money, right?
Congratulations to them, because I mean, it was a big gamble for them to release on consoles. I mean, they took so damn long in doing it, and
this was supposed to come out pretty quickly behind the PC version.
Yeah, and it paid off, I guess. I mean, I see a lot of people on there, and like I said in the review, a lot of people are focused on that PvP, the large-scale battles,
And you've done that? That shit's awesome. I mean, at least it was when I played it.
I tried to do that, but when I first did it, there was nobody there. But now that I do it, there's people there, and I just get raped so quickly because people.
It's so fun though, just when everybody's running to the next thing, and you're in a large ass party of people.
You got the catapults and everything going, taking down the towers. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's insane. It's like Braveheart or something. You're running you're running through the hills and shit with a large group of people going into battle. It's something else. I remember seeing that for the first time. I was like, this is probably the craziest shit. You got fun times with that, but I didn't play that much longer after that.
Well,
I didn't understand I didn't understand the mechanics of how it worked in taking the castles and taking the different plots on the PvP. Did you kind of dig into that stuff, or?
I tried to, but it was like, man, there's a lot into this, So
okay.
It was very
that won't be included in the review. That won't be one of the things we cover in the review.
Maybe it might.
I tried to, but it was just too complicated.
Hard, but people kept killing me.
Don't tell me that. I don't just say, yeah, I looked at it. Cool. So you're going to give this game a 4 out of 5, and you're going to continue to play it.
Definitely.
Cool.
And now there's rumors, I think, of Neverwinter coming to PS4, so that it's going to have a little competition soon.
Yeah, but I thought you said it wasn't a competition because Neverwinter sucks and Elder Scrolls is really, really good.
If I had to choose between the two, yeah. But given that it's a free-to-play game, it's going to be interesting to see how many players.
Everything I've seen from Neverwinter is just like, this looks like it's free.
Yeah, that's pretty much true.
Yeah, I haven't really followed that at all. I don't think many people have.
Like, I got addicted to it on Xbox because it was free.
$60 for an MMO full, played as much as you want is a pretty good deal.
It really is. I mean, look at Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy is doing really well on PS4, but that subscription.
That's a subscription.
It takes away from it so much. I would be so into that game, and what hurts me the most is because I have friends who are into that game immensely on PS4. Like, they got Heaven's Ward and everything. They're crazy into that. But I guess it depends on the fan base. I mean, like I said, Elder Scrolls has its own, so I think it's gonna do really well. Continue to do really well.
Cool.
All right. Well,
I played Rocket League before we move on.
You did play some Rocket League.
And I felt obligated. There's been so much talk about this game. I had to check it out.
Yeah, I need to play that. I've got it on my PS4. I definitely need to go and play some of that because it looks really good. It's like soccer with cars, right?
It's soccer with cars, but it doesn't. Even the videos don't do it justice. It's really well. Like it just controls really well. It's fun to play. It's exciting. You get these crazy moments of that you only get in sports, right? These non-repeatable moments where you're playing with a team, bouncing it off the wall, jump up your car, shoot it in the goal. I mean, there's so much going on in the game. I really can't say much about it. I've only played three or four rounds of it, but it's really, really fun.
Yep.
I was surprised that I liked it because even seeing people, it's been popular on Twitch and YouTube and stuff, and even watching people play it, I didn't think I would necessarily like it. And then I started playing it, or just 3 or 4 times. I was like, this is really fun. And I was playing by myself. I could see getting on with 3 or 4 people. And playing with a team would be kind of fun as well. I don't have much to say about it. But I wanted to say that I did play that. And, as a free game, that one's probably got a lot of life value for anybody, that just wants to pop it in every once in a while. Or maybe even get hooked on it.
Yep.
Seems pretty good.
I'm surprised that it is a free game, honestly. It's $20 right now on Steam. So
yeah.
And it launched with PS Plus for free on July 7th. So I mean, that was a really good deal. And for it to end up being such a good game, apparently, the reviews on Steam are overwhelmingly positive, is what it is categorized. So
yeah,
I've seen a bunch of videos, and it's been one of those where like people will post a 5-minute or so video, and I'm like, I'm not going to watch all of this, and I do. I watch the whole thing because it's really fun to watch.
See, I didn't have much fun watching it, but playing it was a different story. You got to get in there and check out how the cars move and how good and responsive the controls are. I mean, it's just so much fun. Just setting up shots, and I don't know, it's soccer, right? But it feels more, you've seen the videos, you're racing towards the ball in the beginning, and everybody's trying to smash it at once, and it just goes flying, and from there you're scrambling around. You can
drive up the walls,
turbo boost and blow up people. You can like spin your car, flip it around, jump up and hit redirect the ball, and I mean, it's just constant action, and the games are like 5 minutes, I think, or maybe 4 minutes, so it goes super quick. There's a whole customization system where you can throw hats and flags and rims and different stuff and different body types on your car.
How many players on a team?
I think there's a few different modes. I think you can do 1-on-1, 2-on-2, 3-on-3, and 4-on-4. And I think 4-on-4 is called like chaos mode or something because it just gets crazy. The one thing that I didn't experience today when I played it for the first time, I downloaded it and played it today for the first time, was not having the connection issues. Because then when I went back and did research, it was like, yeah, this game has connection problems. Can't find a game. And that I didn't see that at all today, so they're probably getting that under control, I'm guessing. It played smooth as silk today, and I'm probably going to play it every now and again. Seemed really fun until people get too good at it to play it anymore,
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess that is a game where people can really get competitive with it.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I was getting my first game. I scored like 5 goals. And I was like, this game's awesome. I like this.
Everybody likes it when you're winning.
Yeah.
Then the second game, a little bit more competition. Players, they're using more strategy, not just everybody driving at the ball all at once. But it's fun. Yeah, definitely. PlayStation Plus, check that out before it expires at the end of the month or whatever.
All right, sweet. Is that what you're looking forward to playing next week? Is more Rocket League?
No, I am. I hope to God the Witcher 3 patch comes out for Xbox One, because I've also gotten back into playing The Witcher. I didn't think I would be able to, but I'd kind of jumped right back into the story. Like I hadn't skipped a beat, and I think it's because they do such good recaps when you come back in, like where you were for the story. I don't know if you guys have played enough of it to know or have seen that stuff, but they do good recaps, and I got back into The Witcher 3. I'm just waiting for the movement patch to come along. That game's got me thinking that, like, people were wrong about how good it is.
Really?
Absolutely, man.
Wow.
I just don't... It's
the first doubts I've heard about Witcher 3.
Oh, come on now.
Everyone
First doubts you've heard, they would not be patching the move. They would not be patching. They would not be patching the movement if that game was perfect.
That's the first doubts I heard from you.
Me? I love it. I mean, I do love the game, but I don't think it's like the best game ever made. Best role-playing game ever made. Is it huge? Yes. Is some of the content boring? Yes. Are you constantly going from conversation to conversation? Good conversation to good conversation. Very great, like, good storytelling, good voice acting, great, beautiful world. It just feels, I don't know, it just feels a little bit...
It's missing something?
Lacking.
All right.
Yeah, just something. Maybe
a little bit with that
DLC.
That's as big as Witcher 2.
No, I'm not saying that the game is bad. I'm just saying it's not like the best thing ever. I think people have just been starved off for good role-playing games. The Witcher is a good one. I think Fallout 4 will probably put this game to shame.
Ooh, the gauntlet's been thrown.
There's no gauntlet. There's no gauntlet to throw.
Gauntlet's been thrown.
They want to be. CD Projekt wants to be Bethesda game studios. They said it over and over in the interviews and stuff leading up to this game. It's like, yeah, we're taking inspiration from Skyrim. We want you to have that experience. I don't think, like, for me personally, I don't think it's better than Skyrim. That's just me. I'm sure a lot of people do. I think there's some aspects of it that are way better than Skyrim, especially a lot of the conversations, the story, the characters. Geralt is a very good character, I think. Ciri and Yennefer are good characters. And Skyrim doesn't have a lot of good characters. You're the main focus, right? So it's a totally different sort of experience. You're this person. But I just don't see that game now as a 10 out of 10 or 100 or whatever it got. I'm
gonna look up what its Metacritic was. I know the Xbox One was lower.
Yeah.
that was
But
definitely...
this movement stuff, it's like, this game has been out for what now, 2 months?
It was 94, 92, and 91 on PC, PS4, and Xbox.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. But that movement stuff still, like, it is so imprecise that I don't see how you could overlook that when reviewing the game. And they're coming out to patch that. 2 months later, it's like, so you're wrong. You know?
I guess I need to play it. I own it. It's sitting.
Play it before
the
PC. No, you'll have to update it before you play it probably, and the update is out for PC players. Like the movement stuff is already patched for PC, and I started playing on Xbox again because I just wanted to get back into it before I really lost the desire to play it at all. Gladly I got back into it, but knowing that movement patch is coming out in a few days or a week or whatever for Xbox kind of makes me want to wait for it because some of that stuff is really annoying.
All right. So you're excited to play more Witcher 3?
Oh, absolutely.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, I want this patch to come out because apparently there's like inventory management stuff, which the inventory shit is fucked in that game. The movement stuff is fucked.
It's one of those. I feel like it's one of those where you're sounding so negative because it's almost perfect, and it's just got little things that bug you.
Yeah, but it's not little things, Kyle. If you played the game and you're like, "What the fuck is all this shit in the inventory?" It's hard to like understand the systems that are in the game because the user interface. Maybe they should have kickstarted it.
Yeah, that was.
Maybe they should have got kickstarted for $5 million to get a better user interface.
Get an inventory.
See, this is what I don't want to. This is what I don't want to see from Shenmue. It's like, well, this is a good game, but fucking goddamn it, it's broken.
Patches.
Like that stuff is broken in The Witcher. The things that are wrong with it are major. To the point where it takes away from the fun. And you see the potential there, and you're like, man. That's why I'm excited to play it with the patch. So, yeah, I'm definitely going to try that out on the Xbox One when the patch does come out. I haven't looked for any, like, feedback or whatever on Steam, I guess. Maybe GOG would be a better place to look for, how that patch was received. But, yeah, I definitely want to see how that shapes up.
All right. Anthony, are you going to play more Elder Scrolls?
I might give that a little bit of a rest because I played so much of it. Probably gonna get into more Arkham. Finish that game finally.
I wish I could join you. I'll say it every week until it's fixed.
Never gonna happen.
So get yourself a PlayStation 4 copy.
No.
There you go.
Don't want it. I want my 60 frames.
You're getting 20 frames
instead. And then I'll probably go into some God of War 3.
Cool. Well, I'll be playing Game of Thrones, which comes out Tuesday.
Oh, I thought the new season was coming out or something.
Nah, just 5th episode of 6. So looking forward to that. We'll be moving into
the penultimate.
Yeah, it should. Telltale usually kicks it into gear around the halfway mark and into the latter half. So I'm hoping it gets pretty crazy.
Telltale loves their penultimates.
They do indeed. So that should close us out, unless you guys have anything else you want to chat about.
No, I'm good. I'm tired.
All right. Well, go to bed, and thank you for joining us for the Attack of the Fanboy Podcast number 19. We will see you next week.